Hello everyone, I am Maha Salman, team leader of India, and on behalf of Asia Pacific Evaluation Association, I welcome you all to the third session of the Brown Bag series on professionalization of evaluation. The objectives of the Brown Bag series are to quickly follow up with the WOPE's EY chapters, parliamentarians, and members of the evaluation community in the region about the progress they've made on their commitments and evaluation goals pertinent to professionalization theme. So these are basically quick learn over 30-minute learn over lunch sessions for all of us to get to know what we're all doing in different countries and parts of the region. So the takeaways or the aim of the session is to keep setting goals regarding professionalization, to get feedback, to guide our peers and share our experience with regards to professionalization, to learn what's working, why is it working, and do's and don'ts of professionalization, and to also learn about the context that everything is being operated in. Moreover, we are also interested to learn about and explore the opportunities to collaborate and form new partnerships, to develop new products, and increase or amplify the use of existing products. So these are some of the things that we aim to achieve through these Brown Bag series. Just as we go forward, since I mentioned that these are 30-minute sessions, I'm not going to take much longer, and I'll give the floor to our two extremely brilliant speakers. Just wanted to know that this is a very short and a very close group today that we have. So we want it to be very interactive, very casual, free-flowing session. And for that, I would want you all to post your questions in the chat box and interact with us during the session in the chat box. There will be a Q&A session in the end. So we'll be happy to connect with you and talk to you. So now, today we have friends from India. We have Dr. Najib Nandi, who is the co-founder and co-leader of Evaluation Community of India, ECOI. And we have Yatin Devakar, who is the co-founder and co-leader of Evalu India. So welcome, Dr. Najib Nandi and Yatin Devakar. I'm really honored that you both could join, and you will be sharing the experiences and learning from India. So as I said earlier, I will not take more time, and I will let our speakers run the show. So over to both of you.
Thank you, Maha. Thank you so much for the kind introduction, and that the initiative taken by APIA and APC Hub a couple of months back. I think it's fantastic. So yeah, and thank you to both API and APC Hub for inviting us for this event today to share our experiences. Yeah, let me share my screen. Give me just one moment, please. Just give me one moment. Can you see my screen? Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Thank you so much. Okay, great. So because both me and Yatin, both of us will speak today, and I thought that I'll start the presentation, and then Yatin will join me, and I'll start by presenting our understanding and vision about professionalization of evaluation. And then I'll try to provide a macro picture of different initiatives, and then Yatin will provide some detailed accounts of activities in the past and present. Okay, so sorry. Yeah. So yeah. So now regarding our understanding of professionalization of evaluation, I thought of looking at IOC's definition in the beginning. Okay. Now IOC defines professionalization as a collective set of actions aiming to equip evaluators with strong values, knowledge, and skills in evaluation that supports the likelihood of quality and useful evaluations. We agree with the statement. Let me tell you, professionalization is key to evaluation practice, but a high quality practice, what we understand, will be meaningful only when the findings are used, and consequently, if we don't have proper systems and policies, neither the practice nor the use of evaluation would achieve any change in the context of development. So if you look at this definition, it apparently emphasizes the value, knowledge, and skills of the evaluator, but it also addresses the systems and policies. So for us, this definition has much wider meaning in the context of Indian systems and socio-political settings and governance systems. So for us, it's also about strengthening culture of evaluation and nurturing and sharpening of existing systems under larger domain of evaluation field. So if we try to contextualize the definition of professionalization of evaluation, I would say in India, professionalization aims to address to strengthen evaluation practice and existing systems and policies, both in terms of enhancing the quality standard of evaluation practice and in terms of decision and policy making. This aim to strengthening includes this aim to strengthening this both the practice and systems also include exploring at two levels, the individual level and institutional level. So the point here is that professionalization is not a single isolated activity. It's a part of the ecosystem building. Now, if I speak as a representative of National VOPI Evaluation Community of India, this also includes different kinds of partnership building with the government bodies, with civil society organizations, with other VOPIs in the region, and with other professional evaluation organizations and individuals towards the ecosystem building. So, we understand that Evaluation Community of India or EQI alone cannot bring the change or professionalize evaluation. It must be done in partnership. The definition will remain just a vague statement if we don't follow some guidelines. So I thought that let's put some guidelines or the concrete planning. I would rather say collective planning and convergence of different activities and synergies between different activities and organizations. So very quickly, let me highlight the IOC guideline here for a VOPI for professionalization of evaluation. It shows how different thoughts and ideas are getting unpacked when we look at the IOC guidelines. Okay, just let me very quickly highlight the main aspects of this guideline. Yeah, absolutely. The national governance system or the national evaluation ecosystem, they highlight this the importance of that. They highlight the importance of identifying the competencies required for the evaluators. Okay, and also both for not only for the evaluators but also for the evaluation commissioners. Okay, then adopting minimum standards of practice, defining ethical guidelines within which the practice of evaluation should operate, with a central attention to give human rights and rights of the public, and supporting individual capacity building by academic institutions and specialized trainers. Now, EQI has a vision. It had started developing a comprehensive vision of evaluation ecosystem recently. Recently means last year actually. So if you look at this diagram, it's self-explanatory. But I also want to mention here that it's not a fixed kind of a diagram. It's rather a dynamic diagram. This diagram indicates that it would be possible to execute the ideas we put here under 6 pillars of evaluation ecosystem, like engaging stakeholders, enhanced knowledge and visibility of evaluation, evidence measurement and quality, evaluation use, enhance capacity at multiple levels, and establish effective e-money systems. If you look at these things, the ideas, it would be able to engage will be possible to execute these ideas only if we are able to engage other stakeholders to contribute and sharpening the possible avenues by identifying and recognizing the strengths of different stakeholders who are already engaged in the field either or might be interested to engage with different I mean with by like to connect engage with different pillars but interconnected pillars, I would say. At some point of time, we also need perhaps a theory of change for India if we consider evaluation is just not a practice, but actually it works for bringing change, bringing equality. As evaluators, we will fail if we fail to see the big picture. We will still remain isolated and we will be working in silos without connecting our work with the change-making process. If we fail to recognize the larger vision of skill and capacity building and knowledge building, we ourselves will fail to recognize the value of evaluation apart from completing evaluation assignments effectively only to get appreciation from the evaluation commissioners, perhaps. Anyway, so the other main message of this diagram is to recognize the value of evaluation, developing a comprehensive understanding of development and identify each individual major or minor players and engage them around these various activities. Now, very quickly, if we see that what we have done so far and what perhaps we can do, we'll understand both our strengths and the challenges for us in the future. Strengthening the WOPI movement in India, absolutely. We strengthened because till 2015, there was no WOPI in India actually. But now you see at least an active and noisy WOPI, and hope our noise is reaching to some key institutes. So we ourselves require a better process evaluation system perhaps to see that we are reaching anywhere or not, anything is moving, progressing or not, but just by saying that we have strengthened the WOPI movement in India. Organizing conferences and sharing learning events, absolutely, we did it very efficiently, but we must remember again the big picture and the question ourselves that are things moving as a result of these activities? Otherwise, what's the point of just creating new networks, organizing events, and creating new knowledge if those are not used? Participating in national and international events, yeah. So we definitely, I think in last 10 years, many of the evaluation practitioners, professionals are attending different conferences and events for sharing their own ideas and also listening from others to sharpen their own ideas. Emergence of evaluation as a public discourse, to some extent, I think, yeah. But we expect to see the policymakers are talking about evaluation policy, or at least media highlighting the learnings from evaluations and evaluation findings, not just to make a sensation, sensational news that some program has failed, but engaging stakeholders for further discussion, dialogue, and learning from those evaluations. Capacity building initiatives by various organizations. Yeah, this is an important aspect of professionalization, and this space is also growing. But it's just the beginning, I think. Many independent efforts are there, but we need to understand how those different independent initiatives of building capacity are connected, and various efforts may be complementary to each other. So those kind of ideas and the big picture and who is doing what at what level, we need better understanding so that we can know each other's strength and we can complement each other's strength. Publication of knowledge products, yeah, some we have done, but this requires serious attention again. And more importantly, we don't know if those new knowledge are used or not. What kinds of learning are happening from those publications? Otherwise, in generally, Indian evaluators don't write that frequently. But definitely, this is a time to encourage them to engage them in writing, sharing their knowledge in different platforms, not only to academic writing, but different other forms are there these days. Partnerships and dialogues. Yeah, some efforts are there in building partnership, in capacity building, but again, I think it's in the initial stage. We need to fit it in the larger ecosystem and see that what kind of partnerships we are building, and what are the different challenges we are facing in building partnerships. Drafting a national evaluation policy. I must say that EQI has drafted a policy and shared with the government body already, but it needs to move faster. Perhaps a long way to go, but because it's a huge country, and in a huge country to adopt a national policy on evaluation, which is definitely a long way to go. But happy to say that, yeah, we have started something already from EQI side. I want to highlight the initiatives taken by DMEO. DMEO is Development Monitoring and Evaluation Office of NITI Aayog, the policy think tank of Government of India. Good thing is happening from 2019 at the DMEO level. If we look at the kind of activities they have already started, it's very encouraging. Like, the National Evaluation Policy Framework, the draft we presented to them, they started working on that draft, trying to create a framework kind of thing, but still, I already told this long way to go. They are also like building partnerships with WOPs and other stakeholders. So they also created DMEO's vision of partnership. They have started capacity building initiatives at the government, at the state government level, at the national government level. Knowledge initiatives, toolkits and guidelines. Everything is part of that ecosystem building initiative, and also started very actively started knowledge sharing and advocacy through different platforms. So I would stop here, and I'll now invite Yatin to add his version and presentation. Over to Yatin.
Thank you, Rajiv. Because of poor bandwidth, I won't be able to turn on my camera. Sorry for that. What I'm doing today is somehow making me think more about evaluation and professionalization. I'm today taking a journey. Actually, I'm walking 30 kilometers as part of a ancient tradition in India. Like, it has been going on for last 1,000 years, where people start walking from a village named Arandi as a pilgrimage and walk over 200 kilometers over a period of 20 days and reach a place called Pandharpur. And so this is a stretch out of that which I am doing. I try to do it regularly. And so here I am. And right now, when I was thinking about all of this professionalization and everything, and then there are some points which are mentioned by Rajiv ji as well, that about how we should try to reach out to people. Evaluators should write content which is knowledge product, but not evaluation reports and everything. I realized the importance of vernacularization of knowledge. This tradition started 1200 years ago when Bhagavad Gita, our sacred text, was translated from Sanskrit to Marathi, the local language. And people were able to understand it and get involved in the spiritual movement and start this journey. And if something similar starts to happen in evaluation, is what I'm feeling once again today very strongly, that we start translating our knowledge products in regional languages, in local languages, the smaller NGOs, the smaller people, the smaller government offices. India has more than 50-60 languages which are regularly spoken, more than 20 official languages. So if they get material in their own language, its palatability will improve, their understanding will improve, and their interest will improve. Their appreciation of evaluation will improve. And as part of professionalization, as part of our capacity building efforts, this also has to be focused somewhere. Now I'll go back to my presentation. I'm just showing some historical data of how India has been trying on its capacity building front, especially at the central government level. Before DMEO, we had the Program Evaluation Office under the Planning Commission, which was started in 1952, which regularly focused on having training programs for state government and ministry and department level officials who were already involved in evaluation, or the Indian Economic Service officers who are like part of the system which sanctions finances. Back in 1983-84, we also trained some Indonesian officials, and I'm pretty sure that although the reports miss this fact, mentioning it again and again for different years, over the years, many people from different countries, especially Southeast Asia and South Asia, must have been trained in India through agencies like FAO and UN agencies. It also had created a network of training institutes across the country. Every state had some 3-4 training institutes, and about 10-15 institutes which would carry out evaluations in the 70s and 80s. So that is about 40 years before today. They were funded through grant-in-aid scheme to do small evaluation studies through these research institutes, which also had been creating the supply of evaluators, like researchers who start doing evaluation projects and then get into full-time evaluation kind of activities. But somehow all of this dwindled in the 90s and 2000s, and we are at the current position. Can we go to the next slide? So, yeah, so the situation it was always aimed at government officials, but not focused on private and professional capacity development. And the short training courses were created. There were no academic programs which were developed in India. And that is major place where India lacked, because when the government's focus from evaluation moved away, there was no existing outside the government system which kept on demanding for evaluation or supplying good evaluators. Over the recent years, over the last 20 years especially, many agencies like JPAL, Clear South Asia, 3IE, and some private firms are now starting training programs and creating some supply of evaluators. And these changes have increased since 2010, as Rajiv Ji has mentioned in his presentation. Can you go to the next slide? So, but what are the limits? Till EQI started to work, there was no leading agency which was trying to bring together all partners. DMO stepped in after that in 2019 and is now working towards that. Collaboration was limited before because there was no buy-in from the government, but since DMO started working, that network organization and everything got established. And there's again, as I said, no existing academic program. And there's no continuous discourse among evaluators about professionalism, capacity building, standardization. I guess only in the last 2 years it is starting, but again it is happening in echo chambers with people who are connected to API, EcoI, Evaluate, and some circles. And we are not able to reach the wider network of evaluators and educators who are already doing some small courses in different institutes on evaluation. So most of the evaluators are outside the open networks. Next slide. So coming to why is the main reason why I'm here to speak, representing Evaluate India. WISE face different kind of challenges related to capacity development, formalization, opportunities, funding access to resources, and networking and support. And their role is pretty limited in different activities, and that is why we thought of starting the Evaluate India chapter and start supporting them in capacity development and providing them some opportunities in WOPAs and creating awareness and creating collaborations, etc. And so I will be presenting some of which are doing right now. So can you go to the next slide? Yes. So WISE needs some support, guidance, training opportunities to be better professionals. And youth should select evaluation as a core profession, not as an additional responsibility after they have joined the development sector, have started working with the government or finding some job. And one of the responsibilities is evaluation, where they are not very focused on evaluation, but more on the implementation side. So what Evaluate India is trying to do is create opportunities and connections for WISE to grow together as evaluation professionals, and where they get an opportunity to connect with senior evaluators to further take ahead their professionalization journey. Towards this, in the next 5 years, Evaluate India would be a self-governing body representing WISE in EcoI and will be a youth accessible, fast-paced network with co-leaders in evaluation practice and capacity building in India. Next slide. So the major activities which Evaluate India has done in the last 2 years is partnering as a host in the Asia Pacific Winter Schools, which are organized in March 2021 and December 2021, which is a capacity building and career development opportunity for WISE from across the Asia Pacific region, but we typically see a heavy participation from South Asia. And we are also conducting the eval case competition since last year. This year is our second year for that, for college students. I will further speak about the eval case competition in the next slide. Next slide, please. Yes, so last year we conducted the first ever eval case competition in India on lines of the World Eval Case Competition, which is a very good platform to bring together students to think about evaluation and get a taste of writing an evaluation proposal. Last year we had more than 90 teams registering for our event, out of which about 40 finally submitted their assignments. And we selected 3 winners through a panel of 7 juries over 3 rounds. First team was of Mahatma Gandhi National Fellows, which is a development related fellowship run at IIM Bangalore. And they represented India at the World Evaluation Case Competition and were ranked first in the Asia region there. We also conducted 2 webinars last
Yatin, we lost you. Yatin?
Yatin, there's a sound lag.
Hello.
Yes, we can hear you now.
Thank you. So as I was saying, we also conducted some webinars to create awareness around evaluation for these competitors. First to attract them through a competition and then make them aware about evaluation. So can we go to the next slide? Rajiv, can we go to the next slide? So currently we are hosting the India Eval Case Competition 2022, and the details can be found at our website evalcasecompetition.in. Registrations are open till 10th of July. We also have attractive cash prizes this year. So if you know any students in India who might be interested in evaluation, please ask them to participate in this competition. Can you go to the next slide? Thank you.
Yatin, you want to mention some of the future activities that you planned from Evaluate India, apart from that Eval Case competition?
Can you take up? I'm losing network.
Okay, fine. No, so actually, so we have some future plans which we started working on it, but it needs more discussions actually. Because partnership, we believe that needs to be strengthened. Partnership with academic institutes to develop professional courses actually for the evaluation. Otherwise, currently we have some maybe random training programs here and there, but it's not systematically thought how to build that profession as a systematic manner for the young professionals or the people who want to join the development sector. So that kind of partnership, we are looking for partnership among the academic institutes. That's one prime activities we are looking for right now. So depending that engagement in that segment, we also want to start a series of webinars to complement those different kind of courses, and also enhance our knowledge production. Could be a peer reviewed journal or other knowledge products, so that to take this discourse, evaluation discourse, much more a direction where we can create professional evaluators in this country, and can use that indigenous knowledge and theories and approaches, frameworks for our own evaluation. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Dr. Rajiv, and thank you so much, Yatin, for this great presentation and giving us an overview of all the activities Evaluate India and ECOI is doing. And I want to congratulate both the teams and both of you also for all the efforts that you've put in for professionalization. So this was really amazing. And we've got some very interesting questions also in the chat box. So I'm going to quickly direct them to both of you. Now is the time for the participants also to unmute their mics and ask questions from the speakers. We have very limited time. We actually have 2 more minutes to formally end the webinar, but we'll stay back only like 2-3 minutes more for the questions. So Asela asked some great questions, and I'm quickly just going to read these, and you can answer however you wish, in whichever sequence. So how one can claim as a professional evaluator, and is there a body institution that recognizes evaluators? The next question is, are there evaluators at DMEO, and if yes, they are recruited as evaluators? If yes, are they recruited as evaluators or just trying to understand evaluation professionals recognition in the country? And also he is asking about the cadre system, if there is, and since most of the countries do not have one, so your take on the cadre system also. So if you can just answer these first, and then we'll take up the rest.
Yeah, so I think the one very important question that Asela raised, who can claim as an evaluator? Yeah, so right now the development professional who is interested in conducting evaluation is claiming as an evaluator, because there is no academic curriculum actually here in India for the evaluator. So that's why definitely we mentioned about it in the in our presentation, that we need to actually streamline this curriculum and perhaps that graduate course or post diploma course in India, which is not yet there. That would be maybe the first step towards it. I think it's a long way to go, and also we want to also learn from the other countries how they are streamlining this professional this entire process of accreditation actually. So I mean, absolutely, I think we are at the very initial stage. I mean, let's start some good academic courses, and then perhaps we might go to that next level to share our experiences and what we need to do in this field. Yatin, you also can add your views on the DMO, because we worked with DMO some time back. So if you just add,
Yes.
yeah.
So response to most of the questions which Ashela poses is currently primarily in the negative. There is very less like work around professionalization, or most of the recruits in DMO are recruited as young professionals with about 1 year of experience and a basic STEM related degree, or even a degree related to economics, statistics, such things. And many of the senior leads there have some kind of an evaluation experience in their work profile. But people who have spoken with over there, many consultant grade 1, grade 2 level people who are just like below the director level position, they do not have a training in evaluation or a specific degree in evaluation. One or two of them might be like, for the last 1 year, I have not been meeting them personally, and I'm not aware what is currently happening. Most of them are learning evaluation on the job after coming here, and that is why one of the primary activities which DMU started from 2019 was holding its own brown bag series for its staff to learn evaluation from JPAL and 3IE and other agencies, so that staff starts to learn about evaluation systems, specific methods in evaluation. Thank you.
Thank you. So there are two more questions. So I think these will be the last questions before we formally close. Well, the first question is from Aftab, who's also a very prominent and active evaluator in Pakistan. And he asks, how realistic do you think that these initiatives, how long will they take, the time for them to materialize and to see the impact of these initiatives? And the second question is from Game, and he's asking that how are you being recognized by the government? So if you can
by the no, I didn't get
by the government.
Recognized by the government. Okay. Yeah. Good. No, I think the first question, I don't know actually how much time it would take. It would be perhaps a lengthy process. I can just share, like, a couple of days back, I met a very prominent person in one of the largest universities in this country, the Dean of the Social Sciences and Development Studies, like, the possibilities of starting a course in evaluation. And he is interested, but he told that it will take a long time. So how long? 1 year, 2 years, I don't know. So this is only one initiative I'm mentioning. So, and also, like, my worry is also, like, these kind of initiatives are maybe taken by several other organizations, and we are not exchanging our ideas and the initiatives, and so that we are unable to complement each other. So that's my worry, because we still, like, in echo chambers who are working. So that's the very problematic for me. And how a government recognizes, I think, like, now if you talk about government, it's a multi-layered at work at a different level. Now, Development Monitoring and Evaluation Office, if we consider them as the think tank of evaluation initiative in India, though they are not the evaluators as such of government programs, because government programs are evaluated either by the ministries or by external evaluators engaged by the government. But DMO is a professional a body which actually trying to develop these kind of systems, and they recognize several organizations as per their different kind of activities. So I think right now they have already signed a statement of intents with around 20 organizations. They are BOPs, they are different kind of evaluation organizations, the UN bodies, academic institutes. Primarily the people who are showing interest in evaluation, showing interest to take evaluation one step ahead. So through that only they are perhaps recognizing. I don't know if they have any other criteria for recognition from their side. Yatin, if you want to add anything.
Yes, I just want to add one point. If you look at the entire ecosystem strengthening and professionalization and other activities, I would say the next 4 or 5 years are very crucial, and in these years we will have a lot of development. If the academic course starts in 1 or 2 years at one place, then quickly it will start in another couple of places after that, and many other things will happen, provided that the central leadership provided through ECOI and DMEO continues as it is. And that has been a problem. Like, I've been a student of history of evaluation in India for the last 70 years, what has happened in the last 70 years. And my reading has been that it has generally been given by the person sitting at top. And once that person retires or gets transferred or something like that happens, then the system has again slowed down again and again. So we have had these phases every 10 years where some strengthening efforts have started, some collaborations, networking has started, and things have again gone down. Hopefully this time it will not happen, because the major change is that the kind of partnership which DMU has initiated and the kind of leadership that ECOI is taking in this system will help us in transitioning properly with the new leadership. Thank you.
Good. I think
Thank you,
Yatin is very
Dr.
hopeful.
Yes, and which is a good thing. I think we all need to be hopeful. We all need to
Absolutely.
be optimistic about it, because we're all taking steps,
That is
even
the
if they're
characteristic
baby
of the
steps.
youth.
And this is why it's
Youth has to be
creating
hopeful, right?
results. And
Yes.
I was also going through the chat, and we've got some really nice comments also. So the story of Nigeria, how it is being recognized by the government, is also being mentioned. So from all this, I think the sign we can end on the note that it is the efforts that we all need to put, even if as commissioners of evaluation, as people who demand evaluation, as suppliers of evaluation, that professionalization, it's not going to happen overnight. So it is these small activities, small steps that are going to that we all need to take, so that we can create ripples and have a greater, larger impact. So on this note, thank you everyone for joining today. And like I've told you before, we're going to have one session every month. So the next session will be on 29th of July, 2022. And I'm going to, please join us again. And this was a great session. Thank you again to both our speakers and to the team, the organizing team. Thank you so much. Have a good day.
Thank you, everyone.